Welcome to my bewitching podcast, where I take you on a journey to initiate you into the mysteries and pleasures of all things magical and more. I'm Julie Nelson, Rich Witch, botanical perfumer, astrologer, and creator of the Fragrant Oracle. I'll discuss a myriad of topics passionately on women rising unapologetically, witchcraft, including spells, rituals, insightful astrology updates, and oracle card readings. I'll also introduce you to special guests who share their bountiful knowledge and experience in the art of witchcraft, the intuitive and healing arts, and being wildly unapologetic. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to my Rich Witch podcast. This is Julie Nelson in the Blue Mountains, New South Wales, Australia. And today I have a beautiful friend and fellow astrologer and magical woman with me, and we're going to talk about EFT. So, Tanya, I'm going to hand it over to you to introduce yourself, and then we'll get stuck into this juiciness of EFT.
Wonderful. Lovely to be here, Julie, with you. So my name's Tanya Wasylewski. My business is Inner Astrology, and I'm an astrologer, holistic counsellor, and EFT practitioner. And I am based in Geelong in Victoria. Yeah. So yeah, down here, which is about an hour from Melbourne, if you don't know where that is.
I know where it is. Yeah, it's a nice spot down there. So here's the thing, Tanya and I, when we were going through COVID here in Australia, like the rest of the world was, I think we were a bit behind you. Tanya and I met on Clubhouse, and I loved that app, and I still think sometimes I want to go on it. And Tanya and I had an astrology room. So we would go on weekly and talk about Australia, astrology, and, you know, do Q&A, have quick looks at people's charts. So we will return with some great astrology chats on the Rich Witch podcast, but today we'll focus on the EFT.
Well, that's because we first met through astrology. We studied astrology together.
That's right.
Years ago.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I came back to study astrology because I'd put it to the side for a while and thought that I couldn't remember anything. And then it was fantastic because as soon as we started, it all started coming back. So never think you've lost it. It's always there somewhere.
In the files of the mind.
Yeah. And it can be reactivated. So never worry about losing sight of things that you've studied or you're passionate about. It's there. So, Miss TW, I've done a lot of EFT, and I'm loving that you've done it because it's reminded me, because it kind of petered off. I used to do a lot of stuff with EFT because I found it really helped me. And then I kind of lost it being busy, and busyness gets in the way of so many things. Maybe we could do some EFT on allowing ourselves to create some time.
Yeah, kind of need that.
Well, yeah, and you know what? I was talking about this before. We do have time. It's just that we've been programmed to believe we don't.
And it's how we use the time as well.
That's absolutely. And so I think it's really important that we begin to acknowledge that it is easy for us to create the time and how we use it, because it's so important for our health and well-being on all levels. I mean, it's nourishing, it's beautiful. And I was talking about teas and ceremony and ritual just before in an earlier interview, and it really, you know, brought it back to home how we would do well to sit and be in the moment. And EFT would be a great process for that too, because you're focusing on an intention. So right now, can you give us a brief or whatever kind of introduction you want on what EFT is? I'm sure there are people out there that may not have heard of it or know what it is. It's a fabulous tool. I do believe in it. And this is actually saying to me, time to get back into it, Julie. So hand it over to you for that, Miss TW.
Sure. Well, for anybody who's sitting there thinking, are they talking about electronic funds transfer? It's like, no.
I didn't even think about that.
People have said that to me. It's like, no, EFT stands for Emotional Freedom Techniques. And you may have heard of it referred to as tapping as well.
Yes.
So that's what we're talking about today. Not money, although money might come into the conversation.
Absolutely.
But it's a therapeutic tool, and it has the capacity to transform lives. It's a stress reduction technique. It draws upon mindfulness, exposure, cognitive processing, physical stimulation, blends Eastern energy meridian knowledge with Western psychology. Like, it's a very, very powerful tool, and it's very simple, gentle, and effective. So I feel like everybody needs to be doing it, and they are doing studies in primary schools, some pilot programs, and that is going to be amazing to see those results and to teach it to people at that age, because you can use it for anything. If you've got, some people use it to clear big traumas. If they've gone through there's a lot of work that's been done with soldiers with PTSD, and it's really helped them through that. You can do it if you're just feeling upset or angry or anxious about a particular thing in your life. You can clear just old programming that's in your brain as well, which is sort of the thing that a lot of people will use it for. If you've got a physical ailment, it can also be used for that, because a lot of your listeners probably know, like, the body and the mind are so connected. So if you've got a physical pain in your shoulder, for instance, it could be brought on by an emotional thing or vice versa. Everything's connected. So what EFT involves is you tap in on various parts of your body, like your face and just sort of around your chest and arms. And, we can talk through that a bit later. And while you tap, you say various phrases related to what it is that you're working on.
I love that.
Yeah, and it really just helps calm down anything. It sort of turns down the dial. My teacher, she referred to it as emptying out the dirty water from a glass. Because,
I like that.
Yeah, if you've got a lot of dirty water in your glass, you can't fill it up with clean water. So the tapping helps you empty out the dirty water so you can fill it back up with clean water, with clean thoughts, and just reduce all of that stress response. And it does relate to the amygdala and the hippocampus, which I know you know a lot about, so we can get into that a little bit later as well. But yeah, it's a really incredibly powerful yet simple tool that you can use at any time.
And I just want to say, you're so polite when you're sort of saying you're tipping out the dirty water, because I'd be saying clearing out the shit,
Yeah,
rid of that shit, man. It's like and with a lot of these tools, what I find that I love so much is, like, they all can be so beautifully entangled and weaved together. Astrology, perfumery, witchcraft, EFT, counseling, and really working with the mindset, which I believe today is something that's, well, it always has been, but I feel, my feelings are more than ever, that we really need to really begin to, or focus on recalibrating and retraining ourselves, so that we are honoring ourselves. We're working with ourselves for our highest good and the good of others, because in the world that we are living in currently, and again, there always has been this, but it feels to me, or appears to me, that it's more exaggerated or heightened right now, is the fear, the uncertainty, the insecurity, the financial lack. And we were having a little chat about this before, and my righteous rage. So we're going to have more conversations on this another time. And I think that I would love to, maybe what we could do, Tanya, is go through maybe 3 different EFT exercises. And I have a couple of questions about this as well. And I'm sure a lot of other people may feel this way. So before we get into, I want to tap for money because I want a shitload of money.
Right.
Always health and well-being, because as Tanya knows, I have a mantra called, I want to be a centurion plus dancing on the street, because I've got a lot of things to do. And I love life, and I want to see the growth and the goodness come back to our planet and creatures and people. But one of the things I always find, so I always go to YouTube looking for, people on YouTube to do EFT, because I'm a very confident woman. But even though I've practiced it off and on for years, I never know what to fucking do unless I actually have somebody guiding me. So it would be really cool to get some tips, because I think I can do this. And then I start tapping, and then I think, I don't know what I'm saying. And,
I'm doing it right. Yeah.
Am I doing it right? And I have no doubt there are other people. Whereas if I watch somebody and I'm guided, it's easy. And I'll say that every time I've done it, and I used to practice it every day, I really felt the shifts and the changes, and I believe it's perfect for magical work as well. So, when we're wanting to, maybe we could think of a spell that we could do, one for maybe manifesting abundance, and then they could put their own desire into it. That could be fun.
Maybe, yeah.
If that's possible.
Well, we can play around with it. I mean, like I said, you empty out the dirty water, but then you want to tap in the good stuff as well. So
yes,
yeah.
So first of all, then, can you answer, or give us some tips on what I just mentioned about, without having somebody to guide you, how can we do it? And I also think it's essential, not essential, that for me as a practitioner, I've known people come and try something once, and if it doesn't work, they give up. So and I think we live in a society of pill popping, and I feel that our doctors are basically there to prescribe. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe and know there's a place for all of that. But people have become so busy, and they think that, and I've had people tell me this, clients, family, friends, it's easier to pop a pill. But that's not dealing with the situation. That's not getting to the core of it. That's just sugarcoating it, or not sugarcoating.
Putting a Band-Aid over it.
Putting a Band-Aid over it. Thank you. Much better term. So I think it's important. And people respond differently. Some it may not take as long to move through something as others. So maybe there are things, before we get into the fun stuff of actually doing some tapping, maybe you could share your thoughts and some tips on those, if you've kept up with me, because I know well, I'm very going off track I'm
used to this.
Awesome.
So I think just one thing that I want to touch on first is that EFT can sometimes continue on in the background, and your subconscious is still working on it even after the point of you doing the tap-in. So sometimes people can be like, oh, that didn't work for me. But then they experience all these shifts and changes in their lives, and they don't go, oh, that was the EFT that helped me through that. They might just be like, oh, I'm suddenly unlucky and I'm, you know, fortunate and whatever it is. So, you know, it can be that thing. And I think that's like many things, like the essential oils. People might just be like, oh, yeah, they just smell nice, but they don't realize that it's helping them with the headache or the whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
They're going through
their mind, their nervous system, their immune system, and really acknowledging it. And sorry to interrupt, but there was something you said when people go, oh, it was just lucky, or it was just, I was very fortunate. Well, yes, you were lucky and you were fortunate, but that is not why it happened.
Yeah.
You created that, whatever it be, good or bad.
Exactly. Yeah. And then to go to your point of like, how do I do it? Because it's techniques, like it's plural. So there are a few different ways into EFT. So there can just be where you're tapping on the words that you're saying. And if I'm doing it myself, I might write out whatever it is that I'm experiencing. So maybe say I'm feeling really stressed, and then I might just write out all of the things that are relating to that.
Yep.
As to why. And it doesn't matter how many you have, like it could just be 1 or 2 things, it could be 10. And then I'll do the tapping on that. And we always like to give it a rating as well. Sometimes, most of the time, it's out of 10, to be like, how much are you feeling the stress around this issue? So then when you do the tapping, you check back in and you go, oh, that 8 is now down to a 5. Okay, that helped. And then you just keep reducing. So that's how you can see whether EFT is actually having an impact, is through that.
Yes, that's a very good tip.
Yeah.
To take notice of. Yeah.
So that's a very simple way of just doing it for yourself. There are other things too where you might just want to give an issue a movie title. You sort of play a 3-second movie in your head. You're not part of it. You just watch it. And it could be the neighbor's dog barking, for instance. You're like, you know, this movie
about this.
And you just tap on this movie called The Neighbor's Dog Barking. It's an 8 out of 10. And you just tap on that. And it means that you don't necessarily have to go all the way into the thoughts and feelings about it. Sometimes you might feel a sensation in your body. So you're like, okay, I feel this tightness in my heart and it's the color blue and it sounds like grating metal. And then you just tap on those sensations. So there's many different ways to go into EFT. And, you know, there's a lot more that I haven't mentioned. But it does help.
To you.
Yeah, exactly. So the most simple things are probably the movie technique.
I love that one because I'm a very visual person, and that will also take away my frustration. Yeah,
it sort of puts you as a viewer rather than you're in it, you're feeling it. And it can be really good too when somebody comes as a client and they're not quite ready to go into all the ins and outs of things. So it's a gentle way of easing them into something. And there is, I can't quite remember what it stands for. It's like PPP, like the Personal Peace Program. That's what it is. So Gary Craig, who was one of the founders of EFT, he had this thing. And so you might write down all the things that happened to you, even like when you're a kid at school or whatever it is, like the day I wet my pants at school, and, you know, the day that mum forgot to pick me up or whatever it is. And then you just do tapping on that every day and for 21 days. And then you see what shift might have happened with you working on those issues that have been in your body and your
brewing in your body.
Yeah. And then that can have an impact on what you're experiencing now.
So so I'm thinking then, just as you're saying that, is like you know, even with anger, if we're feeling anger, and instead of holding it in our body, we can get that shit out.
We tap it out. Yeah. As Bethany Loveday, who you've spoken to already, her and I will message each other, just be like, tap it out.
I love
get that out of our systems.
Yeah, tap it out.
Yeah.
And with that, I'd like to bring in the point too, is that with me being an aromatherapist and a perfumer of 30 plus years, that I believe that we can weave the essential oils into there. So if there was, I'll give an example. So if we were working on self-love, so we then rose would be a beautiful oil to use, because it's the oil of love. It's the highest vibration of all plants, and it's ruled by the goddess Venus. So that would be an example. And then if we wanted something like prosperity, if we think about Mandarin was given to the Chinese emperor as a gift and an honoring, and it meant prosperity. So we could do that. So I'm thinking, just by the by, why I'm saying all of that too, or as I'm saying it, please be mindful you just don't put the undiluted essential oil on. It could be a blend that you've made for a specific intention. It could be a single oil, but it must be diluted. And I guess that I haven't done it, but you can inhale as well. So inhaling is great because it has that direct link to the limbic brain. But also if you anointed it on your fingers that you tap with, then you can do that. That would be safe. So just take note of that. Dilute it. Do not put undiluted oils on your fingers and then tap your face.
No, you don't want that going in your eye or anything.
You don't want that. That's not a good idea.
Shall we talk about the limbic system? Because I think that's a good crossover between the oils and EFT. You just brought it up then.
Yeah. Well, for me, working with the limbic system, so with aromatherapy, with perfumery or essential oils and inhaling, so we have receptor cells in our olfactory, which is said to be our strongest sense. But it's important to use all of our senses. It's probably the most underrated sense that we have. So when we're inhaling an essential oil, the molecules are received by receptor cells, and then they're converted into electrical impulses that go directly into the limbic brain. And so with the limbic brain, the areas that we worked most with aromatherapy were the thalamus and the hypothalamus. So the thalamus is where we perceive what a smell is. The hypothalamus is like the control center of our body for digestive activity, body temperature, the production and release of some hormones, sexual feelings, anger. So it really has a lot of control over a lot of these things in our bodies. So when we inhale something, it goes directly into these areas and also travels down the electrical impulses travel down and through our nervous system, down our spine through that. So very, very powerful. And when we blend something like essential oils with EFT, we're actually potentizing the action. It's like bringing, when we make a blend and we bring more than one oil together, we're potentizing a specific quality of that essential oil. So we can do that by bringing the oil in with the practice of EFT, and we potentize it.
Amazing. Yeah, because with EFT, we're working with the amygdala and the hippocampus as well. So it's that complementary part to it. So for people who don't know, like the amygdala is the part of the brain that processes fear and anxiety, and it attaches emotional significance to memories. And it's that fight, flight, freeze state of our response to stress or threat.
It's also, sorry.
Oh,
getting excited here. It's also where the amygdala decides where it's going to store information.
exactly. Yes. And so then that information then goes into the hippocampus. So whenever and that's your memory making sort of place. And so when you think of a particular memory from your past and it's reactivating that stress or that fear that you felt at that time, it sort of tells your body, oh, we need to be stressed about this now, even though it might have happened 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Yes.
And it's just that reactivation of it. So when you're tapping, you help to reduce that connection, that stress response between that memory and the feeling in your body. And then you have that oils that come into it that can just add that extra layer of, tension and peace, and help bring in those good feelings and that create that new memory.
And we're working to create new neural pathways. And then the thing too is, and this is the power of intention and perfume. I'll say perfume, but I mean any essential oil or smell that you love. So you've done your practice of EFT, or you'll set your intention. So how I recommend people do it is if we inhale, right? And inhaling is so easy. So you inhale it out of the body, or if you've applied it to your wrist, perhaps you breathe that in. Then you can start tapping and you're speaking your words, which is an intention. And then you can, when you finish that aspect, then you breathe it in again. So that's locking it in. And then it's creating the new neural pathways. So when you continue to smell that aroma, it triggers the good memory, right? So, and so that helps to strengthen the new neural pathways, but also brings it to the forefront of your brain. So in saying that, I'm thinking maybe when you're clearing out the shit or the dirty liquor, you could use a detoxing oil like cypress or juniper or grapefruit. So you do that first half. And so therefore I wouldn't apply it. I'd inhale it. And then consciously letting that go. And then when you start to do the more empowering aspect and the positive aspect of the EFT, you inhale an oil that represents or has the qualities of what you desire.
That sounds great. Yeah.
So that would be awesome and really effective. So if you are feeling that angst or stress or whatever, you want to detox that, you want to tip out the dirty water. So as you begin that, you smell the grapefruit, and then when you start to bring in the good, you smell the other.
That sounds like a perfect recipe.
I love it.
Yes.
Anything else to share on the amygdala and the hippocampus?
I think that's probably enough for people to just get a overview.
Coolly pops. So all right, so should we have a bit of a play, or unless there's any other tips, or maybe when we have a play something might be evoked that we can talk about as well?
Well, we can have a play, and I can talk you through the whole process as part of this
awesome
session. That's probably a good way to go about it. So what happens, or there are people do EFT in slightly different ways. You might be watching videos on YouTube and be like, oh, I've seen someone do it differently to how I'm explaining it right now. And that's okay. Like there's different, you're not going to do it wrong or break, just do what feels good to you. But this is the way that I've been trained in, so, and the way that feels good to me too.
And just with saying that, Tanya, I want people to remember that it's important. There's generally no one way, as long as you know that it's not harmful. And I'm just going to bring an example that's got nothing to do with EFT, but it's like when people say, well, you can add essential oils to your water and drink it. Well, no, you freaking shouldn't, because over time it's going to cause issues. So that's a bit different. But when it comes to applications or ways of doing things, practices like EFT or spell crafting or reading astrology, there are different ways, and it's about working with what aligns with us.
Yes. Yeah. Some people might start on a different part of the body when they're tapping, it's fine. And it's non-invasive. You're just tapping. So yeah, like you said, you can't hurt yourself.
No, that's right.
Yeah. So we start off with a setup affirmation when it comes to EFT, and that's on what's known as the karate chop point, which is the side of the hand. So where your little finger is, that side of the hand. And maybe I could also send you just a visual guide that you can put in the show notes as well, so people can look at this and know what we're talking about, because
that's a great idea. There's something so evocative about the power and pleasure of scent and what it conjures from within us. Mother Earth speaks to you through her flowers and trees, herbs and fruits. You feel a deep connection rising from within you when you are tuned into her magic. You've experienced her enchantment, and now you're ready to be inspired by the Fragrant Oracle. These cards carry the essence of woman, of the world, both ancient and modern, witches, priestesses, goddesses, the essence of you. As I introduce you to each of these cards, think of them as your companion to rising unapologetically in your divine feminine essence, to support you in creating magic in your life. Unleash your goddess essence and weave your magic. The Fragrant Oracle is a set of divination cards featuring 44 essential oils. Exotic plants and flowers are represented in images that evoke and assist you to tap into their deep, enchanting meanings. These luscious oracle cards are inspired by my passion for botanical perfumery and magic. And while you can use them in tandem with essential oils, this isn't necessary, which means they're perfect for people who are sensitive to scents. Through the cards, you can access all the pleasure and power of these 44 essential oils and their magical archetypal energies. Each card has key associations for accessing, conjuring, and affirming qualities reflected in you. How to use each card and the beautiful fragrant essence they symbolize. Hold them in your hand, hold them close to your heart, and ask for the essence that will support you throughout your day or week. Trust what comes. Tap into the magical messages that are gifted to you. You can pick up to 3 cards daily, weekly, monthly. And together these create a blend which helps you to tap into the essence of your signature scent. Create a sacred space, enjoy some background music, light some candles, and sit with your chosen cards. Write any words, thoughts, or feelings that come up for you. Within these musings is a beautiful message for you to embrace. If you have your own collection of essential oils, use these cards to assist you in creating a beautiful scented blend to support you to manifest your desires. Today's divine fragrant goddess is truly effervescent in her essence of being. Ruled by Leo, she shines her light on you like the sun on a warm summer's day. Blood orange. My purpose is to remind you that there is so much joy to experience in your life. I am here to awaken your creative essence, and in doing so, you invite more happiness and bliss into your life. Allow the sun's energy to illuminate your path and give you the gift of conjuring your sweetest and most desired dreams to come true. Dream big, beautiful one. Embrace the dance of life to fill your cup. Allow it to spill over, for there is so much abundance waiting for you, and allowing it to ripple out beyond. Remember to tap into your inner flame to ignite your personal creativity. Some sparkly affirmations to summon your desires. I am abundant. My body, mind, and soul are nourished through my creativity. I am revivified and happy. My sparkling spirit is awakening. I am joyfully magnetic. To purchase your luscious Fragrant Oracle deck, I've included the link below in the comments section, and always feel free to ask me any questions. May you always be in magical scented bliss. And I was just thinking I may not be able to tap, don't know.
Microphone.
Oh, it's not making a funny noise. Okay, so I will tap, because people might think, what the fuck is going on in the background?
Everyone can tap with us, and so
yeah, tap with us.
So you start on the karate chop point, and you start to say something like, if we want to use something like money.
Yes, let's do money first.
We can be like, even though I feel really stressed about money.
Even though, sorry.
Yeah. And then you've always followed that setup statement up with a positive affirmation. Okay. And so it's something that you believe about yourself to be true. So the main one you might see is that I deeply and completely love myself, something along that line. Not everyone loves themselves. Not everyone believes that to be true. I know you do. But some people, it might not work for them. So that's when, you're working with a client, you have to assess their level of, yes. Do you even like yourself? Do you, depending on where people might be at, right?
Which would be really good to tap on too, by the way.
Exactly. Yes. You can tap on anything. So there can be another affirmation of, I accept myself in this moment and for at least the next 30 seconds. I always enjoy that one, and that often makes the client giggle a little bit. Yeah. They're just like, I can accept myself for 30 seconds. It's easy. Or it can be, I'm open to being open to loving myself. Or there's a whole, that's a good one to get started. But it's like just being open. Oh, you could be, even when you're working with children too, it could be, I know that mum and dad love me a lot.
Oh, that would be so beautiful. Yes.
So it's just, all we're doing with this affirmation is acknowledging the situation of being stressed about money, but then saying, but I'm okay still. I'm okay. this situation happens, but I'm separate to it and I'm okay.
And the thought just popped into my mind, when or if they do that, bring this into schools, got to make sure that they don't try and brainwash the kids with negative stuff. Because, you know, it's going to be really interesting, and I trust that there will be overseers that are experts in the field to make sure the right thing is being said.
Yes. So it is being done through Peter Stapleton, who is a researcher with Bond University. She does a lot of EFT research, and she has a book called The Science of Tapping, which is really, really good to go through a lot of these studies. And so she's going to be behind this trial.
Great.
So
because, you know, there are some bad people in the systems out there. So we want our kids our future generations to love themselves, to be confident, to be kind, to be compassionate for all that is and the good of all. Yeah.
All right. So back to the setup statement. So you'll say that 3 times, and I like to change my hand. I'll do it on my left, then my right, then my left, but you can just stick with the one hand. It's up, completely up to you, what feels good.
So should I say it out loud, or will I confuse? Maybe I'll just say it to myself.
Well, I'll just explain the whole tapping thing, and then maybe we can just start writing out the things that we might want to cover in the tapping script. And then we can do it as a call and response sort of thing, and people can follow along with us while they listen. That might be,
I like it.
Good. Yeah. So then after you do your setup statement, you go through and start on the top of the head, and you'll tap there between the eyes and the side of your eyes, just under the eyes, your top lip, your chin, just below the lip, your chest. So you can do one hand across your chest, or you can tap with 2 little fingers just sort of around, and you can feel where the little bony bit is on your chest there. Under the arm, and there's a few different ways to do it. You can lift up your arm and tap it like a bit of a monkey. That's probably a nice way. Or you can do it as a hug with both arms crossing over. Yeah, so it depends on, your flexibility and what you feel good doing and all of that. Or you can just, do two hands underneath. So again, we can show the diagrams because, podcast is a great visual medium.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We'll do a YouTube video on it too.
Yeah. And there are a few extra points, but those are the main ones which are really good if you're just starting out, so you don't get too overwhelmed with them. And as you're tapping on each point, you just say whatever words you have chosen to say, depending on if you've done a brainstorm of statements and feelings that are coming up for you. You'll just be tapping on those. So maybe we can just start to write out some things about money and do that.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do a little bit of a brainstorm.
Okay.
And see that. Make sure too, everyone, that you've got some water beside you before the tapping begins, because it's good to just stay hydrated throughout any type of energetic process as well.
Yes. So
let's flush it out. Yeah. All right. So let's get into money.
Yes. So we've got money. So some of the things that might come up, you mentioned something before. It's like groceries are so expensive, which they are. Everybody's feeling the pinch for that. And you know what else that's given me the pip is how much electricity is just about to go up.
Yes. Yeah.
So the increase in the cost of electricity.
My bills are so, I could say like the bills in general, the bills are really expensive. Bills have gone up.
Yeah.
Some people might be feeling like I don't know how I'll cope.
So
there's never enough. Yeah.
And we are in a crisis with money and home, especially for women. There is, the housing crisis, the homelessness, being able to afford to buy food. So it's big. We need the shift to happen. Money.
Anything else that you can think of that?
So for groceries, electricity, bills, how will I cope? And I think I'm not sure, it's just the fear of not having enough money. Is that something, because fear is big, the unknown and the fear, well, that comes under how will I cope, and fear of not having enough money. And again, this is very common currently with people, with families, and they're both working, and then rent's jumping up so high, all at one go, it's craziness. What else is around money? Well, I tell you what, exercise, like, who can afford to go to a gym these days?
Yeah.
Not me. And I'd love to, but and I guess it's about what our priorities are as well. And of course, it's our basic needs that are our top priorities. For me, it's, I've got 5 beautiful wee unicorns, and it's, the cost of the food for them when there's no grass, and adjustment prices have bubbled up and boiling over the cauldron like crazy. I'm very, very blessed that I'm not paying a huge amount, and I don't want to. So
no.
People that have horses, there's the saying, and I will not accept it. Actually, I've decided not to take it on board, is that anybody that owns a horse, the horses keep them broke. Well, actually, it's not the horses doing it. I want to get that really clear as well. It's a choice that we make. And I look at, I was in the car coming back from the other day, and thinking, my horses don't make me broke. They're not costing me a fortune.
No.
And what I receive back for them is 100-fold. So cute. So we've got to look at that too. What are our basic needs and priorities? And money brings us that. And I don't believe money is evil. Also. No. And a lot of people do, but it's not the money, it's the people that have it in their hand and what they do with it again, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's a whole other conversation.
I know, you know me, I get taken down another path. But is it worth putting in money is not evil? Or that's irrelevant?
Maybe we can tap that in as a positive.
Okay. All right, so I'm done.
Yeah, I think that's enough just to start off with this example.
Yes.
So, all right, everyone, get your water ready and just sit comfortably. And we'll start on the karate chop point on the side of the hand. So I'll just verbally cue the points for you, and just so you know where we're going. And otherwise repeat the statements after me. So just repeat what Julie says. So starting on the side of the hand. Even though I'm stressed about money.
Even though I'm stressed about money.
Groceries are so expensive.
Groceries are so expensive.
And bills have gone up.
And bills have gone up.
I deeply and completely
love
and accept myself.
Love, honor, and accept myself.
And switching hands if you want, otherwise keep going on the same side. Even though I'm stressed about money.
Even though I'm stressed about money.
There's never enough.
There's never enough.
I'm so afraid.
I'm so afraid.
And I don't know how I'll cope.
And I don't know how I'll cope.
I am open.
I am open.
To being open.
To being open.
To even more love and acceptance.
To even more love and acceptance.
Okay, and just one more setup statement. Even though I'm stressed about money.
I'm stressed about money.
I can't afford the gym.
I can't afford the gym.
The mortgage and the rent have increased.
The mortgage and the rent have increased.
And I don't know how I'll cope.
I don't know how I'll cope.
I accept myself.
I accept myself.
In this moment.
In this moment.
And for at least the next 30 seconds.
And for at least the next 30 seconds.
Perfect. All right. Tapping on the top of your head. Stressed about money.
I'm stressed about money.
Between the eyes. Groceries are so expensive.
Groceries are so expensive.
On the side of your eyes. Bills have gone up.
Bills have gone up.
Under the eyes. How will I cope?
How will I cope?
Top lip. There's never enough.
There's never enough.
In your chin. I'm so afraid.
I'm so afraid.
Tapping on your chest. How can I afford it all?
How can I afford it all?
Just under your arm. I can't even afford the gym.
I can't even afford the gym.
And then just underneath your ribs. And mortgage and rent have increased.
And mortgage and rent have increased.
All right. We'll just shake that one out. Have a big stretch and a drink of water. But you might like to, go through that round a couple of times.
Love it.
But that's just an example of, how it works and how you can just brainstorm the different points and then just tap on them as you go. And, sometimes something will come up as you're tapping, another thing to say, and you can just insert that,
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
As you feel inspired to, because, you could have those little insights of like, well, I now feel this and I feel that way. And, and that sort of thing. Yeah. So maybe we can do a few more statements about the good things about money and tap those into us.
Yes.
Well, so that positive thing of bringing in an essential oil perhaps as well. Like, which one would you bring in for abundance?
Oh, there are so many. I'm going to go with rose. It just popped into my mind, as well as cinnamon. We'll go with rose because it is the queen archetype and it's about receiving.
Beautiful.
So at this point, then you would inhale the rose, when you're about to tap, and then when you're finished, you would inhale it again. And you can do that each round, or depending on how many rounds you do.
And it's up to you. You might feel like, just keep on going today.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah. All right. So instead of being stressed about money, and we're tapping in abundance, do you want to do I love money, or
yes.
What feels good to you, Julie?
I do love money.
I love money.
Money excites me.
Money excites me. I love receiving.
I love receiving. Yes. I love
what
that.
Else?
Let's do one more. Can we say something like, I receive money with ease?
Yeah, I receive money with ease. I'm so abundant.
Oh, yes.
I have more money than I can spend is also a really nice one.
Oh, yes. What was it? I have more money than I can spend. And money, I am abundant. I guess this is me too, like being a little bit more specific is I love money abundance. But I'm sure you don't have to. That's just me.
You can do whatever you whatever you like. There's no
right
rules.
or wrong with it.
And it's whatever words resonate with you. Yeah.
Cool, pops.
Anything else, or shall we just
I think we can
with those?
That. It kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yep. All right. So let's go the karate chop point on the side of the hand. And you're like, I love money.
I love money.
It excites me.
Money excites me.
And I deeply and completely love myself.
And I deeply and completely love myself.
Yeah, the side, I love money.
I love money.
I love receiving money.
I love receiving money. I do.
And I receive money with ease.
And I receive money with ease.
And I'm open.
And I am open
to receiving even more money.
To receiving even more money. Hell yes.
One more sit-up statement. I love money.
I love money.
I am so abundant.
I am so abundant.
And I have more money than I can spend.
And I have more money than I can spend.
And I love sharing.
And I love sharing.
All of my abundance with others.
All of my abundance I receive.
Right. Top of the head. I love money.
I love money.
Between the eyes. Money excites me.
Money excites me.
Side of the eyes. I love receiving.
I love receiving.
Under the eyes. I receive money with ease.
I receive money with ease.
Top lip. I am so abundant.
I am so abundant.
On your chin. I have more money than I can spend.
I have more money than I can spend.
Your chest. I love money.
I love money.
Under the arm. I just love receiving.
I love receiving.
And under the ribs. I am so abundant with money.
I am so abundant with money.
All right. Shake that one out.
Oh, that's so fun. and I want to add, and it's because somebody spoke words to me. It is okay to have more money than what you can spend, because we can then help other people and animals and Mother Earth. So there is more than enough money to go around.
Absolutely. And I can't remember the actual figure of it, but there's a particular benchmark of salary where your happiness doesn't increase just because you have more money. And so you might as well share it.
Well, absolutely. Excuse me. Absolutely. Well, that was so fun. Do we have time for one more?
Oh, sure.
Or
what would you like to do?
Let's do one around stress, because most people deal with stress at some point in their life, or at some point in their day or week or month. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Yes, you can think of a goodie.
No, stress is good. I'm just thinking a particular type of stress, or just general stress are you thinking?
We've kind of covered money in that. So maybe we'll just stick it at general, unless you can think of a particular type of stress.
We mentioned time before. Maybe we should do one around stressed about not having enough time.
Yes, because we want to create more time for our own health and well-being.
Yeah. So we could say, I don't have enough time. I'm so stressed.
Yep. And what about I had it then. It's so hard to find time to do the things I want.
Yes.
Time goes too fast.
It does. And you hear that people saying that about children growing up. They grow up too fast. And it's like,
be in the moment.
Be in the
Enjoy
moment.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something that for me is very important at this time of my life. And it's being in the moment, noticing everything. Stop rushing. It's not productive. It's not healthy. So being stressed is quite toxic. So what about something like that? Stress makes me sick.
Stress makes me sick.
It also gives me foggy brain.
Stress gives me foggy brain, hey?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All
I think
right.
this is nice for our listeners because they can play along with it and they can always backtrack and do it a few times as well. But I will put in links for you to connect in with either Tanya or myself for whatever you're desiring.
And also in the show notes, yes. And also, people can extend on these too. Like this is just a little toe dip into EFT as well. Yes.
And I think that's important for people to understand as well. We're giving them a dip in the ocean. There's so much more to explore with it.
And many ways that you can take it. But yes, let's go with the time side of the hand. Even though I don't have enough time.
Even though I don't have enough time.
And I'm so stressed. I deeply and completely love myself.
I deeply and completely love, honor, and accept myself.
Okay. Even though I don't have enough time.
Even though I don't have enough time.
It's so hard to find time to do the things I want.
It's so hard to find the time to do the things I want.
I'm always busy and rushing.
I'm always busy and rushing.
I cherish myself.
I cherish myself.
And I honor myself.
And I honor myself.
And I'm kind to myself.
And I'm kind to myself.
Okay. One more. Even though I don't have enough time.
Even though I don't have enough time.
Stress makes me sick.
Stress makes me sick.
And stress gives me foggy brain.
And stress gives me foggy brain.
I am open to change and healing.
I am open to change and healing.
Okay. Top of the head, I don't have enough time.
I don't have enough time.
Between the eyes, I'm so stressed.
I'm so stressed.
Side of the eyes, it's so hard to find time to do the things I want.
It's so hard to find time to do the things I want.
Under the eyes, time goes so fast.
Time goes so fast.
Top lip, I'm always busy.
I'm always busy.
And your chin, always rushing around.
I'm always rushing around.
Your chest, stress makes me sick.
Stress makes me sick.
Under the arms, stress gives me foggy brain.
Stress gives me foggy brain.
And under the ribs, I just never have enough time.
I just never have enough time.
All right, shake that one out.
God, I love this.
Have a drink of water, everyone. It's the thing with EFT is that we're always having a big stretch after we do a round of tapping. We're drinking water. So it just feels really good in your body as well to create that space. And
it does.
It does. Yeah.
It's like when you come out of a visualization or meditation as well, having that stretch and
so you're just sort of creating a little bit more space in your body too.
I love that. This is awesome.
And the positive side of all of this as well. So
I have more than enough time. Would that be one?
Yes.
I love the freedom
I love the freedom
that time allows me.
that time allows me.
I like that. Freedom's
That's a nice one. Freedom is a very nice word to use. Yes.
Love it.
I fill my time doing the things I want.
Yes. I was just thinking that. Yeah. I use my time wisely.
I use my time wisely. That's really nice.
Yeah. Time. Well, this is me being a witchy poo. Time is magical.
Time is magical. There's always
something about presence.
Yeah.
Present.
I'm always present.
Yes.
I do everything mindfully.
Yes. Yes. I take my time.
I take my time. Nice. Right.
Coolie pops.
Beautiful list.
Yes.
Side of the hand, I have more than enough time.
I have more than enough time.
And I love the freedom that time allows me.
And I love the feeling that time allows me. I love the freedom that time allows me.
The feeling and the freedom. And I love and accept myself.
And I love and accept myself.
Just the way I am.
Just the way I am.
Inside, I have more than enough time.
I have more than enough time.
And I fill my time doing the things I want.
And I fill my time doing the things I want.
And I continue to do so.
And I continue to do so.
And one more, I have more than enough time.
I have more than enough time.
Time is magical.
Time is magical.
And I'm always present.
And I'm always present.
And I am open.
And I am open.
To even more time.
To even more time.
To do all the things I want.
To do all the things I want.
Top of the head, I have more than enough time.
I have more than enough time.
Between the eyes, I love the freedom that time allows me.
I love the freedom that time allows me.
Side of the eyes, I fill my time doing the things I want.
I fill my time doing the things I desire.
Under the eyes, I use my time wisely.
I use my time wisely.
Top lip, time is magical.
Time is magical.
Your chin, I'm always present.
I am always present.
And your chest, I do everything mindfully.
I do everything mindfully.
Under the arms, I take my time.
I take my time.
And just below the ribs, I have more than enough time.
I have more than enough time.
Check it out. Stretch.
Ooh, thanks.
Ooh.
Ooh, having a good stretch. Tanya, that was amazing. That was fun. Like I could keep going. Let's do more. Let's do more.
Stay here all night.
Let's just tap our way through the evening. That is so awesome, gorgeous woman. I love getting on chats and conversations with you. I think we're pretty good.
Me too.
Together. You know, you've got that beautiful groundedness of Capricorn to bring me back because, as you know, you're so used to me going off on tangents and little hints. Come back.
All about that Piscean side of you.
I know, it's awesome. All right. Well, I want to thank our listeners for being here, and I do hope that you tapped along with us and know that you can just move the recording back to where we began if you want to repeat that tapping. I will share in the show notes Tanya's links And we look forward to sharing with you again, because I just know that Tanya and I have got so much more to share.
We do.
Absolutely. So I shall say goodbye now and look forward to you on our next podcast. Thank you for joining us on the enchanting journey through the realms of magic, mystique, and self-discovery. I hope you enjoyed our time together on the Rich Witch podcast, where we delve into the depths of witchcraft, astrology, and the unapologetic rise of women. Please subscribe, rate, and leave a review. And as we wrap up, I encourage you to carry the wisdom and magic we've shared into your own life. Embrace the power within you and revel in the beauty of your own unique journey. Stay tuned for more magic, and in the meantime, stay curious and know your magic is a gift to the world. Blessed be, beautiful ones, and remember, the magic is always within you. This is Julie Nelson, signing off.